Hi everyone, I've made some changes to my startup file for Blender, so we're just going to talk a bit about it. First of all, I removed the back light that was originally present, kind of removed the front and back rings around, kept the upper one to get a kind of nicer, slightly moodier lighting setup that I think is a bit more balanced overall. Suzanne is now front and center, but there's also a sphere, just if you want to kind of see how the lighting wraps around it. So even if nothing else, if you use nothing else in this, it's just a great place to start in terms of like doing renders, particularly for sculpts, but that's not even what's kind of most important here. If we look up in the upper right, we'll see that there's been a bit of a naming convention change based on something that I've learned recently from the last video doing the laser lighting experiments, which would be this experiment. As you can see here, we've got the laser light. If you haven't watched that tutorial, it's pretty cool. We also talked about hiding information in light. So you notice that we're cutting between a few clips here, and these are all rendered from the same file. One thing I noticed that I wanted pretty quickly was I want the output file name to indicate like what camera it came from. Now there are multiple ways to do that. If we look over at the output settings here in the rendering, you can see it says shot 2, which is not the right name for the camera. You could type it in, or there are different tags you can add into the string field there, but I don't think camera name is one of them. So I've got a script down here. What it does is whatever the active camera is, when I run this, it's going to change the output name to the name of the active camera. So that way I can just press to run the script and then Control 12 and it will render the animation. And it's collapsed down there basically just so the button is accessible. So I can work in the file, move to whatever camera I want, click, and then I'll render the animation myself. I've also moved away from using the custom resolution add-on, which is, by the way, brilliant. And I still think resolution should be on a per camera basis by default in Blender anyway. However, when rendering animations with Blender open with custom resolution enabled for the camera, I noticed it consistently crashing after a few minutes of rendering. So with that in mind, I've now got it disabled by default, which is a bit annoying, but whatever.